Frenzy is where we're at. Tristan doesn't have his headphones on, but we're going to get into it. Fan Frenzy, where you, the fans, ask or contribute with us, the fans of Formula One, and lead the discussion a little bit, and leaving us your thoughts on the race of Baku. Jamie is our leader out of the box this week, ranking 4 for the race.
That's
disappointing.
Awesome. Good. Thank you, Jamie. You burnt me a bit with my race ranking of 4.
Probably more so, I didn't like it. Probably more so given that the hype from F2 in previous years with good racing, but we didn't get it this year.
No.
Oh well. 3 points to Perez. Maximum points except for 1 over the weekend. Okay, not bad.
Yep.
Alonso for demonstrating his mental capacity once again with strategy behind the wheel.
Incredible.
And his coaching ability, I imagine.
Yeah.
1 to Leclerc, quiet in the races, but did what he had to do, and adding to his qualifying was impressive. Start of the day, Gasly, his awful weekend, thankfully for him, it went under the radar as a result of the obvious duds. Ocon in pit lane, fiasco, Max's behaviour over the weekend. Question: you can go back in time and change the decision of any controversial steward decision, or lack of decision for that matter. What decision would you overturn and why? To make it harder, you cannot include the 2021 Abu Dhabi Baku.
Good.
I like it. The big decision, let your decision be as controversial as you like.
I like it. I take this from Jamie has come off the back of Massa and the potential challenge for the 08 Championship. I think for me, the one that I would change is Seb in Canada, where he was stripped of his win and the infamous board change, where he was seen to have been taken advantage by running wide. So, yeah.
They took a long time.
Took a long time.
Yeah.
Did you know, fun fact, that for those that don't know, new listeners and people who aren't super knowledgeable of Formula One, every time Ferrari win, they hang an Italian flag out the front of headquarters at Maranello. Mm-hmm. And after that race, Ferrari still hung the Italian flag out the front of Maranello because they believe they deserve the win.
How many races have they won since then?
I don't know.
I reckon it'd be nearly none.
None?
Do you reckon they've won a race since then?
I'll find out.
Oh, no, Leclerc would have.
Leclerc's won something.
Yeah. But, no, I don't think that was very good going on there.
Anyway, so I'd change that decision because that was definitely... I agree with that. That was a Seb win that day.
Oh, I'm trying to think of a decision I'd like to change. I would like to change decisions all the time.
Correct.
But to an actual decision, I think maybe I would be... the 2021 season, I'll be... One of the early races we saw an example of a car deliberately pushing another car wide.
Yeah.
I think it was Max on Hamilton, but look, you can't absolutely quote me on that one. I would have pulled him up there and then.
Like
and
Brazil,
we
for
talked
example?
about... No, it was much earlier in the season than that.
Yep.
I think we saw it real early in the season.
Yep.
Like it was almost like a Bahrain sort of setup.
Yeah.
And like pulling up one of them in that season just to see cleaner racing. I mean, it was exciting for us. Mm-hmm. It was really exciting for us, but I would have been pulling the heads in earlier. I like the question. I wish I actually read that one earlier so I could have some more time to think about it.
Nice vote.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I'll go with...
No, does Jamie have a time when he would change?
No, I think he's just asked the question. But Jamie, it'd be great to hear from you.
Yeah,
love to know your own answer to that question, Jamie.
And others.
Yep. Dean, so weekend ranking a 3 out of 10. Awesome. Correct. Once both races had settled down, nothing had happened. Settled down. I don't even know if they got started to even need to settle down, Dean. 3 to Perez, 2 to Hamilton, 1 to Norris. Dud of the day, the new sprint weekend format. I'm happy for them to try new things, and I'd be okay if they tried something different for each of the sprint weekends this season. But I did like the other format better, as I liked how the sprint had an effect on the main race.
Yeah, I didn't hate the fact that the sprint had an effect on the main race.
Yeah.
But I also enjoyed the fresh element of it being by itself. But yeah, I like it. It's good to hear from everyone.
It is. A question, with Dan going back to Red Bull, it looks like he could take Perez's seat next season. I don't think Perez will take the championship, but if he does, can Red Bull really replace him with Dan? And if they don't give him a seat, where do you think Dan will be next season?
Oh, man. Perez is doing what he needs to do, because we talked about the fact that there'll be pressure on Perez this season.
We had a shocker in Melbourne.
Just for the fact that Red Bull has hired Dan back.
Yep.
It's far too early to say if he's going to go to Red Bull because it does depend on Perez. I think if Perez has a really strong season, it's really difficult to replace him. I think it's really difficult to replace him.
Yep.
Dan brings other elements to the team, like his ability to sell the
marketing.
team. Exactly,
Yep.
yeah. I honestly think that there's... I mean, you wouldn't be surprised if you see him in Nick DeVries seat mid-season.
No,
Would he take it if Nick DeVries...
No, absolutely not.
I would think he would.
No, not in a million years.
Yuki's not doing too bad a job.
No. It's just a flat no.
You don't... Stop. I'm not asking you to take it. I don't care whether you take it.
He won't.
Just open your mind up.
He won't.
They want to sack Nick DeVries mid-season.
Yep.
It's a chance for him to get himself back behind the wheel, show his form,
Yep.
and keep himself up with Formula One. Do
Yep.
you think he's on? Do you think he could say no?
Yes.
Really?
Yep. It's a garbage seat. You don't want to be anywhere near that team.
Yeah, I don't think he's in that ability. I don't think he's got that ability to say no. If Red Bull have said we need you in that seat,
Yep.
to see what you like, see if you still got it,
Yep.
I don't think he can say no.
I think he can.
Yeah, well then he would kiss the Red Bull seat goodbye.
Maybe.
Yeah. I see, for me, if he's not a Red Bull driver, can really see him next to Bottas, which isn't a good place to be at the moment because they
That's
have
a hideous place to be as
stinker
well.
and they're going backwards fast. But
Yep.
I could potentially see them selling the Audi story, the Sauber Audi story to Dan.
Well, science has been linked to Audi, so...
What do you reckon? What are your thoughts? Where do you think you'd see him if he's not in Red Bull?
Well, honestly, it has to be Ferrari or Mercedes. He's not going backwards anymore. It's the top or see you later. It really is. Yep. Even a midfield team, a high-end midfield team is not enough for him anymore.
I think he's softened those comments more recently.
Yeah.
But yeah, maybe because he realises he's not going to get one of those ones. I'm not sure. Adam Hughes, race ranking a Miami 9.
I don't understand that.
I am confused now. Race ranking a Miami 9. And then in brackets he's got the dud is the next GP. Is he saying that... I'm confused.
I have no idea what you're talking about, Adam.
I'm looking at the right comment, aren't I?
And Miami, you are.
3 points to Alonso, so close to third.
What? I didn't think Alonso was even remotely close to being
he was.
Oh, he was.
Yeah, no,
sorry,
he
because it was
down.
across at the end of the line.
Yeah, closed him right down towards the end of the race.
Yep, sorry.
2 points to Hulk, keeping an overrated Norris on 30 laps.
There's not a lot of positivity from Adam this week.
Not usually, no. And then 1 point to Checo, the other day, pit lane craziness, like an old rally stage. It was like an old rally stage, wasn't it? Liberty will do anything for eyeballs, laugh out loud. Being a little bit cheeky. Answer. This is, and I think he's asking us to answer this. Well, all other countries, motorsport ones, have national championships that count for F1 super license points so karters can progress on a pathway. We don't here in Australia. And Adam would know about this because Adam is in the racing industry. We have no F1 super license class. Even New Zealand does in the Toyota series, and even Norris competed in it. There you go, I didn't know that. So easy fix, Motorsport Australia makes a F1 super license feeder in a class that is relevant for the F1 road, like Formula Toyota or BMW. BMW, he's a racer of BMW. Then an easy process to Asia, then Europe, with races under the belt and prepared. Oh, he's written an answer because we actually asked him.
This is the answer to last week's question.
Which was, well, it wasn't last week, it was a month ago. Right, okay, so this is what he's looking for. Okay, I'm with you now. Sorry, we've taken a little while here, Adam, but I'm with you now. Not Motorsport Australia, just build a bucket, put a boat motor in it, and promote it the hell out of it, which is what he's talking about with some of the other categories that currently happen in Australia. F4 never had a chance here because of Motorsport Australia. Currently we have to ship and great expense 10 to 14-year-olds to the UK and hope for the best. It's crazy. And that's exactly what I was after. I was interested to see what the process was. I'm really interested now. I need to go and hunt down this Toyota series in New Zealand. I'm not convinced by what you've just told me, though, Adam, that any of these other series, I mean, Super License, I understand that part, but I'm not sure that any of these other series are really preparing these drivers to get into Formula One. All these, like, I'm sure New Zealand series isn't competitive enough to promote drivers into Formula One. I'd be interested. I'd be really, really interested, but I need to do a little bit of research myself. But yeah, you're not hearing a lot about it. Anyway, no question. Thanks, though, Adam. I do appreciate it, and that was exactly what I wanted to find out. Thank you.
Shane gives us a weekend ranking of 4 as well. There's not a lot of love for the weekend here, which is good. And Adam, please explain your Miami 9 because I don't understand that one. Dud of the day, Valtteri for bringing up the rear recently. I totally agree, Shane. I'm a massive lover of Valtteri and everything that he does, but I talked about this the other episode too. He's further than nowhere land. And he shouldn't be at the back. He's better than that. Also, I guess honourable mentions here to Carlos and Nick, which they make sense, but probably a little bit harsh on Carlos, I reckon, there. Driver votes, 3 to Perez, 2 to Leclerc, and 1 to Alonso, Taylor Swift's boyfriend. And then a question from Shane. In qualifying, should they allow the cars in front of the crash site finish their lap? So, for example, if a red flag comes out in Sector 2, and you are in Sector 3, should you be allowed to finish your lap? For me, Shane, it's probably a blanket no.
Why?
Just for safety. Safety, and all safety.
Yeah, I mean, there's still... The last thing you need is a live track while something else behind them's happening.
If it's serious enough for a red flag, then you need to take that point really seriously. A great question. I don't mind it. A notable thought.
Yep. You can't have half a track live and then half a track not live.
That's exactly right. So probably a blanket no for me, Shane. But good question though. Didn't mind it.
How close? Who was it that was like incredibly close to completing their lap? Was it Yuki Tsunoda? I think
it was Yuki, and I think actually, I think Oscar Piastri got caught up, and I think he was super close. Yeah. But Oscar was on a flyer as well.
Yep. Paul Cook, 6, beautiful but boring. Beautiful, interesting. 3 to Perez, 2 to Alonso, 1 to Norris. Dud of the day, Foxtel didn't have the replay of the sprint race ready to watch on Sunday morning.
Yes, it was a little bit delayed. I saw that because I was going to have another look at it just because it was too quick for me.
Really?
And then it wasn't quite there, so yeah.
Oh, late incident. The final pit stop of... Oh, he's got a couple. Of Ocon was far too dangerous on the race face. It was... not the fault of Ocon or Alpine. Absolutely. They can pit whenever they like. Question... what will the celebrity couple name for Taylor Swift and Fernando Alonso be? Will it be... for example, we've got Ben Affleck and J-Lo. Would it be Swiffonzo?
Swiftonzo. It's hard, isn't it? You could have Tenandos.
What is it going to be?
They're just a combination of first and last name that is just horrific to put together.
It is very difficult, isn't it?
Horrific to put together.
So sometimes we call it Tay-Tay. So could we call it...
Fernandes.
Fate.
Nanans. I don't know.
Fate is what I'm going with. Furte is what we're going with.
Shocking.
Oh, that is difficult. But thank you for bringing that up. I enjoyed that immensely.
Yes, thanks for bringing it up.
He's smouldering his Spanish sexuality, Adam. Matthew thinks. And then, she's a lucky girl. Could he be a father? Is that all of our questions for
That's
this week?
it for questions this week. You can tell we've had the break.
Very, very enjoyable. Yeah, well, you can tell.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you very much for joining us. Miami is coming up, and don't forget to get involved again next week. We really appreciate it. Goodbye now.